and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here. This is the press conference for the 2021 Wanda Diamond League in Doha. I want to welcome the media that are joining us in person inside the bubble, as well as those who will be submitting a lot of questions virtually. We're in a unique situation here, but very excited to get moving. So welcome everybody to the press conference for the 2021 Wanda Diamond League Doha. We've got two panels today. The first panel is a wonderful group of athletes. Some introductions. So on the far end, Abderrahman Samba. You guys are very familiar with this young man. Bronze medalist in the 2019 World Championships. He shares the position of third fastest ever in this event with another one of our panelists, Rai Benjamin, in the 400 hurdles. So we'll welcome Abderrahman Samba.
Thank you so much.
Also joining us from Qatar, Mutaz Barshim, 2013 World Championship silver, 2018 World Indoor Championship silver, 2012 and 2016 Olympic silver, 2014 World Indoor Champion, 2017 World Outdoor Champion, and the defending World Champion from Doha. And the second best high jumper of all time with a PB of 2 meters 43. Also joining me, Rai Benjamin from the United States. Silver medalist in the 2019 World Championships here in Doha, as he shares that position as third fastest ever over the 400-meter hurdles with Samba, joining us today. So the way this will work, I've got some questions for all of you, and we can take our time, make this as conversational as possible, and then we'll also be receiving some questions virtually off my screen, so we'll kind of go in that way, and then, of course, allowing some of the media here to ask questions if they've got some. So just starting on the far end with Samba. You were 7th at the World Championships in London, bronze in Doha, and this year is the Olympics. How do you feel about your chances to improve on your podium position potentially in Tokyo?
نبغى نترجم والله. لازم واحد يترجم السؤال. Can somebody translate for me the question? Abderrahman, yeah.
Can you read the question?
Yes, please. So Samba, you were 7th in World Championships in London. You improved to bronze in Doha. What are your chances to improve again in Tokyo?
Abderrahman, اوكي. كنت السابع في لندن، أخذت البرونزية في قطر. طموحاتك في طوكيو بإذن الله.
أول شيء بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. طبعا كنت برضو الثالث في بطولة العالم وكانت لها ظروف، بس طبعا أنا دحين أنظر الأولمبياد كأول شيء كحلم وكفرصة إن شاء الله أحقق أحد الميداليات الثلاث، بالذات تكون الذهب بإذن الله، وإن شاء الله تكون يوم الجمعة بداية طيبة للموسم إن شاء الله.
So Rai, you're oftentimes now excuse me.
So in English, of course, Friday will be a great start for Samba to push for his ambition in Tokyo. And in terms of preparation, in terms of what he aims for, he's focused on Tokyo to keep an eye on the medal podium.
Thank you. Rai, your best competition oftentimes is coming from outside of the United States, even though there is an incredibly deep field of 400-meter hurdlers in the United States, with the likes of Samba and Warholm of Norway. What does it mean to you to be able to mix it up with athletes here in Diamond League competitions to help improve the competition around you?
It means a lot. It kind of gets me going, especially being that I'm going to be racing these guys either at World Championships or the Olympics. So it kind of gives me sort of a bit of a warm up to what to expect when that time comes. And I just look forward to it every single time. It's a learning experience. It's always fun. I raced Samba in Shanghai. It was my first Diamond League ever, and that was a lot of fun. And of course, like I'm here now, and we raced at World Championships, so I always look forward to those matchups.
Barshim, in the introduction, I just rattled off a lot of credentials. You've earned medals across the board at every championship you've been in. What is it that continues to drive you? Is it that pursuit of gold in the Olympics? Is it that pursuit of 2:45 Sotomayor's record?
I mean, it's a good question actually,
because I often ask myself now that I'm in a different stage of my career. I've done a lot, thankfully, and what's kept me going these days is like I think more of a personal goals, and then I'm the kind of person that always want to do the most. I want to look like before I retire, I want to say I've done the most of everything I can. I want to use my ability, and there's not enough. I'm never satisfied. I want more, as much as possible. In this kind of sport, you have to be a little bit greedy. It's a good type of greedy, and that's how I'm trying to get. Like I'm just trying to stretch my arm and get everything I can.
So on that note, 2020 was a unique situation for all athletes. How did you approach 2020, and how was that in the maturity of your career, thinking about waiting another year for an Olympics?
I mean, it was difficult, of course, from a professional athlete view. It was very difficult because it was the first year of my career that I have actually not clear target. We've been training kind of good. I was satisfied the level I was in with my coach. But then, of course, nothing was certain. We couldn't travel, and then we couldn't actually train. The facilities wasn't open even for us professional athletes. So it was a lot of milestones, but we still kept a positive mind, and we're thinking, okay, this might happen soon. We need to be ready. You never know when you're going to compete. But then, of course, as the summer keep going on, we realize, you know what, it's not going to happen. So we just have to shift our mind. I actually learned to shift my mind when I got injured 2019. You have to a little bit, okay, you have to learn when to switch on, switch off. I just switch on, professional, live my normal life, be crazy a bit, now it's on again.
Well, we're excited to see where 2021 takes you. Rai, over this last year, we've even seen you run some flat 400s, not over the hurdles. What are the chances that we're going to see you perhaps take a stab at making a 400 team, not just a 400 hurdles team?
I just want to put this out there. I want to double at the World Championships in Oregon. So we'll see what happens if I decide to run the 2 or the 4. But whatever works best on the schedule, I definitely want to take a shot at. I know my coaches aren't happy with me saying this, but I've been saying it for a while. I think I want to run the 100 too, so we'll see.
We'll certainly look forward to that 2022 season coming up to that World Championships in Oregon. This is a question for Samba, if somebody would want to do some interpreting. Samba, when you think about how fast you have run and the company that you keep at the top of the all-time list, what do you ultimately hope your legacy is for the sport, the 400 hurdles, as well as in your country of Qatar?
So Abderrahman, أنت عارف الحين كيف كان رقمك السابق وكيف ارتفع. طبعا الحين تجري أسرع. فكيف أنت تشوف الفترة القادمة؟ كيف توقعاتك رقمك؟ وين تحس نفسك طالع يعني؟
طبعا الفترة القادمة أكيد حيكون في تنافس جدا كبير، لأنك أنت لو لاحظت 2018 اللي كانت الفترة اللي عبد الرحمن صنبا قاعد يحطم فيها الأرقام، تقريبا كان ممكن ما بقول ما في منافس، كانت قوية، ما في لعيبة كانوا قراب في الأزمة. بس لو لاحظت الحين في 3 و4 لعيبة تقريبا كلهم قراب من عبد الرحمن صنبا، هذا ممكن يعطي منافس أكثر لل 400 حواجز ويساعدنا نحطم أرقام أكثر وتكون ممكن منها رقم العالم.
So in 2018 when Samba was improving his numbers and doing his best, the competition wasn't as heated as now. So all this will do to the competition is just going to drive everyone to push their numbers higher.
Thank you. And just a follow-up to that also for Samba. I'm sorry for the interpreting duties. So then what is it like to have the eyes of your nation on you every time you compete in Doha?
عبد الرحمن الأنظار كلها عليك. أنت تنافس بلدك والشعب كلهم متابعينك. فكيف هذا يعني يأثر على شعورك وأنت تنافس؟
أعتقد أن هذه الدفعة معنوية، لأنه ممكن التجربة اللي كانت لعبد الرحمن صنبا يعني اللي حس فيها كانت بطولة العالم. بطولة العالم كنت تقريبا ما راح أشارك، بس لما كان عشان في الدوحة شاركت، فسبحان الله أعطاني دفعة معنوية إني قلت حق المركز الثالث. يعني أعتقد إن دفعة معنوية طيبة إنك تشارك في
It's a huge moral motivation for him, especially in the World Championship 2019. All the good pressure that was on him helped him achieve.
Thank you. Similar question for Barshim. In 2019, but also today and tomorrow, what is it like to be competing here at home?
I think I would just agree with Abderrahman. It's the same thing, competing home home is always special. It definitely gives you that great push and great atmosphere. Similar thing, 2019 was a very difficult year for me coming from a really serious injury. I was struggling a lot. I was at the doctor room more than I was the track. But I mean, again, I know that the competition is going to be home, and that home support, everybody's coming out there, putting their heart, putting their life, cheer you up. You just feel like it does not matter. You can reach some stats, you forget about everything. Like, I need to do this one. These are my people. And this is everything. This is my memories. Like, this is my first step in track and field. Like, everything I've had starts from here. So you're always special, and you always feel like you're motivated. So for me, it definitely is a positive energy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Rye, do you ever, in practice or in races, get that inkling that you've got that right kind of magic in your legs to take down Kevin Young's world record?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely there. It's going to be something that's going to take time that I'm not rushing towards. I think in 2019, I was more focused on doing that, and in doing so, I ultimately failed and didn't run to the best of my potential in the end. But I think this year it's a different approach. I definitely feel a lot stronger, a lot faster than I did in 2019. So I would just say it's just a matter of time. I'm not really thinking about it too much. I mean, I'll joke about it here and there to Coach Hayes and stuff like that and the rest of my coaches, but it's just something it will come in time.
Do you feel like then the competition around you, Samba, Warholm, yourself, is there an external pressure for one of the three of you perhaps, or any of you, to be the first one to do it?
In 2019, yes, but I feel as though if it's going to happen, it'll happen this year because our field is it's phenomenal. I mean, it's not just me, Samba, and Warholm. There's also McMaster, DeSantos, ran phenomenally at Mount Sac as well. So now you have a field with 4 or 5 guys under 48 seconds, and all that's going to do is just push each of us to even run faster. I mean, I feel like our event is going to get to a point where running 47 is just not going to be enough, and even running 46 is not going to be enough. So I think with time, and everyone just keeps elevating every year, I think it'll definitely happen, and I think this event is just going to go to the moon.
And you noted, sorry to just keep adding questions to you, you noted earlier in that answer that when you were chasing times, the competition faltered a little bit.
Right.
What kind of advice do you have then for other athletes, aspiring athletes, even high school athletes, whatever they may be, who are in pursuit of records rather than wins or competition?
I would say to them, just, take your time, be patient. Those things will come, nothing good ever comes when you force things, It just has to happen. And if it happened, it will happen. And I think they have a saying here, inshallah, here. Yeah, so if it's God's will, then it will happen. If not, then, So, yeah, I would just say to any aspiring athlete, high school or college, just, take your time, You have a lot of time. You're still young. Learn your race, perfect your technique, and things will happen.
Thank you. Let's see, I'm going to look to see if we've got any questions coming in from outside media here. This is another question for Samba. We have there we go. Sorry, looking for our interpreter in the back. So with 2020 being a challenge, we haven't seen you race over 400-meter hurdles a lot in the last year. How would you describe your level of fitness right now?
فهمت السؤال يعني. طبعا آخر بطولة الحواجز كانت في بطولة العالم، أو آخر سباق حواجز لعبته كان بطولة العالم. طبعا الإحساس شوي طبعا مش موجود بالذات في 400 حواجز، بس إنه ما حيجي إلا مع السباقات يعني. حتكون إن شاء الله مشاركة الدوحة هي أول سباق حيرد الإحساس بإذن الله. وفي التمرين الواحد قاعد يسوي حواجز، أعتقد إنه إن شاء الله الأمور طيبة بإذن الله.
So he's working on his training and everything, and the feeling of pushing his numbers still back to him, and he's hoping and for Friday that he'll be ready.
first question is also to Samba. Um, at the 2019 World Championship, yeah, you said that one of the things that gave you extra motivation was the presence of your family at the stadium. Now, in Tokyo, that's likely not going to happen. I mean, how will you feel, or what's your preparation towards that, considering the fact that that extra motivation won't be there in Tokyo?
ايش قال السؤال عبد الله؟
تجهيزاتك بشكل تفصيلي أكثر بشكل فني، أنت ايش قاعد تسوي الحين تجهيزك لطوكيو؟
والله it's long gone. طيب راح ابدا من الجزء الاخير اللي هو اصلا اللي انا فهمته، انه التجهيزات طبعا لطوكيو حتكون مختلفه، لانه طوكيو تعتبر حدث كبير كل 4 سنوات، فحتكون التجهيزات قد عبد الرحمن صبا ما يقدر انه قاعد يجهز لها بحذر، تفادي الاصابات، تفادي الاغلاط. فاعتقد ان شاء الله ان التجهيزات حتكون على اكمل وجه باذن الله، زي ما نقول تكون ان شاء الله تعطي ان شاء الله ثمارها في الاولمبياد باذن الله.
So the answer was that he has to be careful. It's a big event. It comes every 4 years. So he has to be focused on his performance, but at the same time being careful to avoid any injuries.
We have a follow-up.
This question is from Mutaz. Yeah. Is this the year that that we've been waiting for, the long-awaited record? Is this the year that it's going to be broken? And the second question is, we are coming back to Qatar for the first time in about 2 years, the Diamond League. What's the experience like? You've been out of the circuit for about 2 years now. What's the experience like coming back, returning home, where it all started, like you said earlier?
To answer your first question about the world record, was this going to be the year or not? To be honest, I don't know, but I hope so. But again, it's very important to have a major championship. I mean, Tokyo definitely is going to be still the target. And, only thing I know from all these years, like, you cannot set a time on the world record. You just got to do your best always. And I know it's going to be a strong field. Guys, they're putting together. When we fight together, and without even mentioning records going to happen. So I think that the major target for me is just to stay healthy, because I know if I'm healthy and fit, I can do pretty much good stuff. And about returning back, yeah, it's been 2 years. It's been a long time. And I'm actually happy and excited to be back. I love jumping, and definitely home, which makes it even extra. 2 years for me, of course, is a long time, but I know how to manage that. I've been doing this for long, so my coach have experience. I believe in him. He always managed to get me in shape, when it's the right time. So I believe in my team, and I don't think 2 years will be any problem for me. I have great people around me, and make sure I'm in check.
Great, thank you. This will be a question for everybody, but we can start here with Rai. So oftentimes, we're most interested in your athletic pursuits and performances. Give us a taste of Rai Benjamin. What is it about you as a person that we don't know, that we should know about you, or that other pursuits in your life that are outside of the oval?
Oh man, I don't even know. I'm kind of a simple guy, I'm definitely very interested in business. I have a lot of conversations back home with a lot of people that I've met. I kind of interned a little bit at this financial consulting company called Cord Advisors, and what they do is they fund SPACs. So I kind of like dabbling in that type of stuff. I've just recently got into Formula One racing, so that's honestly been cool. I kind of been watching that a lot and following that more. I kind of wish there was the Bahrain circuit was this weekend, because it would have been cool to go see that. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. especially now that it's an Olympic year, I try to keep my activities to a minimal because I'm more focused on practice. So, and our practice days are pretty long. Like I will get up at 8:30 and I won't get home until 4 sometimes. So it's kind of a long day training-wise for us at this point of the year. And things. I feel like a lot of things will open up after these games and after the summer, and I'll have more opportunities to do more things.
That's great. And similar question for Barshim. You talked about being laser focused now on the 2021 Olympic Games, but in the time when you were being able to rest, recover, and knowing that 2020 was kind of a wash for everybody, what were some of the other things? What were some of your other pursuits and interests? It could just be video games. It doesn't even matter.
I have to agree with Rai, just simple things. I think most people think, because we professional athletes and we always travel, they always see you on the go, they always see you in action, they think, oh, he must be having an extreme life. Well, for me, it's the opposite. I just like to be lazy, being home, doing nothing, and watching cartoons, spending time with my friends and family. I don't like to go out a lot. So, and I like to enjoy sport, that's basically it. Friends, family, and sport. And traveling when I can, a bit, but very, very chill, very easy. Nothing excited at all. Yeah, we leave all the excitement at the track, so when we come home, we're tired. I'm exhausted. I have no time to do anything. And then everybody's calling me, let's go out. I'm like, no, I'm not going out. I'm going to bed. It's 8 o'clock. I don't care.
And a similar question for Samba. What is it, something about yourself that maybe we should know that's outside of the realm of track and field or athletics?
أعتقد إنه ما في شيء مختلف يعني زي ما قال معتز. As a normal person, I spend the time with a friend and family. That's it. Yes, nothing.
Yeah, when I chill, he's with me, so he's doing the same thing.
Same thing. Good question.
Oh yes. By the way, I'm a father now. I just got a son. So.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Right. The last time you were here, maybe it was successful by all accounts. Gold at the 4x400 and silver in the hurdles. Now, how does it feel coming back to Doha?
Weirdly, I kind of like it here. Although it's hot, there's just something about being here that I was really excited about, especially last year. I mean, the flight's long, but it's special. It's a special place. I found it really interesting the first year I was here, just learning a lot about the culture and the people. And, I was actually looking forward to coming here. I mean, in the beginning of the year, I was like, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to come because of COVID and how far it is and whatnot. But I'm actually really happy I came. It's just, I don't know, it just feels like a really special place. And especially since the way Worlds went and the situation that I was in at the time and the experience that I had, I think coming back now and seeing it a different way, it's really special. Oh, I wish I could go out and do other stuff, but of course COVID. But it does feel really good to be back.
You'll be up against Samba and the rest of the field tomorrow. Tough field, I must say. The last time you competed against him, you hedged him. You second, you hedged him to the rooms. This time around, do you think there's going to be an exchange, sort of?
I don't know. You never know about these things. I don't know. I know what type of shape I'm in and what I'm capable of doing this weekend. But I think in track, I always say you have to have a short memory. I think in 2019, Samba wasn't healthy. I wasn't healthy. And, it was just a matter of, getting that confidence and having the support to actually show up to the final and actually run. So we weren't in the best of shape, every time we've raced each other or been against, up against each other, I think we've run really well. So, we'll see what happens on Friday. I just, pray that we both finish the race healthy. I know it's a big race and everyone's excited, but I just pray that we finish healthy and we run fast and, set our sights on Tokyo.
And just to follow up on that, Rai, we asked Samba about his fitness. How has your, you said you were a little banged up in 2019. You've managed to get healthy, and you've had some great races. Not a lot of races so far this year, but you've had some great ones to start the season. How is your fitness coming along?
It's coming along really well, actually. And I was very surprised at Mount Sac that I actually ran that fast. I wasn't really expecting to open that fast. I know my coach wasn't expecting me to open that fast. But I think we really took the time to focus on a lot of things in the beginning of the season, technique-wise and race management and race load. And I think it just goes to show that it's all working out. And it kind of helps to train with Michael Norman as well, too. He's no slouch. So I definitely have to be on my P's and Q's when I'm with him at practice. So, I feel really good right now. And I just want to, like I said, just stay healthy and just finish the season and run extremely well.
Thank you. Barshim, in a jumper's lifetime, do you feel like there's a finite number of jumps in your legs, or do you feel like you can just keep going as long as you stay healthy?
Definitely. I think that's the key. If you manage to stay healthy, you can go. Of course, I'm not saying you're going to jump when you're 50, but or you can, but the back of your yard. But if you manage to stay healthy, I believe you can jump for a long time. And that was always a target. When my coach talked, actually it's crazy because we talked last week and we came to realization that this is my 10th year doing the Diamond League. 2011 was my debut here in Doha. That was my first Diamond League. And now it's 2021. And I remember when we started, I wasn't that good in technical, performance, and my coach said that you have to change that. If you want to be here for so long, if you want to jump in a high level for 10 years, we need to do something. And that's exactly what we did, because the impact is very important. To stay healthy is very important. You can always work. If you want to be in shape, you can work with that. But if you can't do anything, if you can't run, if you cannot do the program, there is no shortcut. In order to perform, you need to put on the work. If you can't put on the work, it's not going to happen. So for me, as I said, if you manage to stay healthy, everything's possible, and you can jump a lot.
Is 245 possible?
I think 247 is possible. Yeah. If you manage to stay healthy.
When you think about your career, like you said, this is your 10th year on the Diamond League circuit.
Yeah.
I asked this question of Samba, but what do you feel like your legacy is in your sport and with your countrymen, or globally?
Yes. When I'm finished with this, as I said, I want to feel like I achieved the most possible. That's why if I have a target, we set the target, and then we work. Okay, we achieve the target. It's done. Okay, what's next? If you come to my place, you're not going to see any trophy, no medal, nothing. Everything's under drawers. I don't want to see it. You don't want to feel that, you get that satisfaction feeling like, oh, I've done a lot. It's not now. I can do that when I retire. So, and then how I want to be remembered, I want to make sure that you can never mention high jump without mentioning my name. I just want to set an example. I know how it started for me. I know there's a lot of kids out there, they're having the same passion, the same dreams. And I just want to be the guy that say, oh, I did this because of you. You inspired me to do this one.
I love that. Samba had a similar comment to that earlier. So, Rai, when you think about your legacy, and to the point that Barshim just noted, that if you want to talk about high jump, he wants his name to be thought of. Is that the way you feel about the hurdles, or just your presence in the sport of athletics in general?
Definitely. I would like to be the greatest 400 hurdler ever. And it's a big ask, and it's not a slow event. And I think to do that, it's going to take a lot over the next couple of years. And I'm just getting started. I'm still young. I don't have all the accolades like Barshim and stuff like that. But it'll come in time. But I definitely want to be remembered. not just in my event, but in other events too as well too. I want to be the most versatile track and field athlete anyone has ever seen, whether it's the 400 hurdles or the 400 or the 200. You know, I just want to be, I want my name mentioned in everything. So I think I have a lot of time. I'm still young. You know, the sky's the limit. So I just, like Barshim, I really like what he said. He wants people to mention high jump and mention his name, and I want to be the same as well too. I actually really like that.
We need to trademark that.
So Ryan, in that sense, where do you think you've derived that sort of passion and drive for sport? I mean, have you always been like this? Have you always had those types of grand, lofty goals in mind?
I've always been a competitive person. I've always wanted to do the best I can. I personally hate disappointing people, and I hate disappointing the people that support me the most. And I think that all got highlighted when I went to college and when I got to USC and being a part of a team and working towards like a higher goal of winning a national championship. I mean, we fell short of it my last year there, but I think going to USC really highlighted that, and you know, being around people like Michael and Coach Watts and Coach Hayes, you know, both people have been to the pinnacle of their careers and won gold medals at the Olympics, and you know, like not every day you see that. Like not every day people have two gold medalists walking around you and giving you advice and telling you what to do and stuff like that. So, yeah.
That's amazing. So one last question here across the board. First one's for Samba. Just generally, what is your prediction for tomorrow for yourself?
Prediction. اعتقد انه بالتاكيد ما حيكون توقع. السباق حيكون جدا رائع لان 400 حواجز تعتبر هي من افضل الايفنتات الحين في التراك، انه اخر 3 سنوات كانت الارقام يعني حتى تجذب الجمهور انهم يتابعوا اللعيبه، يعني سواء انا ولا راي ولا كاستر all the time نكون متواجدين في السباق، فالجمهور يكون منتظر منا الارقام. فان شاء الله باذن الله ان الجمعه تكون في ارقام حلوه تخلي الجمهور برضو يتشوق اكثر للسباقات القادمه.
So he knows for sure it's going to be heated, and the fans know also that the numbers keep going up, and it's all they can expect that it's going to be really competitive.
Thank you. And Barshim, for you, do you have any thoughts about how things are going to go for you tomorrow?
No, actually, I don't. I don't like do predictions, to be honest.
I know, I'll put you on the spot.
I know. You know, it's the first diamond, so coach was happy about the last training. So when my coach is happy, I'm very much confident. So I don't know what to expect, really. I can tell you for the next of the season, but it's the first diamond. I don't know what to expect, but I just want to go out there and I want to jump. I miss jumping. It's been a long time, so I really want to jump and perform well.
So in lieu of saying a prediction, Rai, what kind of performance tomorrow would leave you happy about where you are with your fitness and where you are in the track and field schedule for 2021?
I just want to be consistent. I ran 47.1 the first meet, so if I can run that or better, that would be great. I mean, this basically, you know, it's a tune-up for U.S. trials, and you know that's a different beast in itself. It's a very hard team to make, and you know we have to go out there and run 3 rounds. So I just want to be really consistent and you know execute my race tomorrow and you know run fast. I know we're going to run fast. You know that's not even a question. It's going to happen. But like I said, I just want to be really consistent. You know, either run my season's best or even better tomorrow. So that'll be the goal for me.
Excellent, thank you. Are there any more questions? Yes, sir. The microphone is coming.
Hello? Okay. This is more like a psychology of sport. And I think it goes to every one of you. What runs through your mind every time you are there, outside before you start competing? What are your most dominant thoughts?
I didn't hear
ما سمعت السؤال.
This is what is going through your minds
Every
when
time
you're
you're
about
out
to
there,
start competing?
what are your most dominant thoughts every time you're about to compete?
I'll go first. I mean, when I go out there and I start competing, what goes through my mind is, just focus on the things that I worked on at practice, focus on my race plan, and just go out there and be a spectacle, be entertaining for the fans, and put on a show. Like people come to see us perform, and I think it's only right that we go out there and perform for them and perform for ourselves. So that's what goes through my mind when I'm getting ready to go compete, and just be the best I could be.
For me, it's different in each competition almost, but mainly, as I say, like, because when I'm about to go compete, like, I'm here for results. So what's going on through my mind, I'm just trying to stay positive and trying to motivate myself, think about what my coach been telling me, what he want me to focus on, a few pointers, and then go actually to have fun and make it, because the real work's in the training. When you come to compete, it's the time to actually get paid, expect the result. So put in work mostly.
اعتقد انه اي لاعب يكون رايح البطوله اكيد حيكون مفكر في النتائج، انه يجري سريع او يحرز مركز اول، بس دائما انه التفكير حق عبد الرحمن صنبا هو الاستمتاع اول شيء. على ما يقول الاستاذ خليفه، يقول استمتع بالسباق، فهذا اروح السباق عشان استمتع، انه ريدي على سويت كل شيء في التمرين، فتستمتع وتحدى نفسي اني احاول اني احطم الرقم حق الملتقى او رقم السباق، بس انه كنت تحدي مع النفس، وهذا التحدي يعطيك دفعه معنويه.
He did all the hard work on the training, and on the track it's just about having fun and enjoying his time.
Excellent. Well, with that, I want to thank everybody, thank the media both here and virtually for submitting questions, and thank you very much to the athletes, and we wish you the best of luck tomorrow. Thank you. We'll take a quick break, and we'll have a second panel of athletes here. So just take a few minutes to get settled. Thank you.
hello. Hello, 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 1, 2, 3, mic test. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 1, 2, 3, mic test. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 1, 2, 3, mic test. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3, mic test. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 1, 2, 3, mic test. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 1, 2, 3, mic test. Hello, 1, 2, 3.
Hi everyone, it's Mutaz Barshim. I'm very excited to kick off my season officially in Doha tomorrow for Diamond League. It's been 2 years, so I'm very, very happy to be back. I'm hoping for best result and please keep supporting. Thank you. اوكي يلا مستعدين سيبيني اقول لك على دعم خلينا نعطيهم شيء سبيسيفيك ولا يلا السلام عليكم معكم اخوكم معتز برشا طبعا الحمد لله رب العالمين بكره راح نبدا اختبار الدوري الماسي بعد توقف سنتين التحضيرات كانت جيده وان شاء الله نطمح الى نتائج مشرفه ان شاء الله واتمنى دعمكم يا فريق الادعم ايزي حبيبي
I think I should actually change my name to that.
You should be here
For real.
momentarily.
Sandy shit. You know the squirrel from SpongeBob? Oh, that's on. That's on. But you know the squirrel from SpongeBob? Sandy Cheeks the squirrel? That's what that's from.
Hello, Timothy. I understand why he's just here. He went the distance.
I did jump down here one time, but is that the
You have to
mistake?
give him some time to get here. I'm saying because you went the distance, took you some time to get here.
Yeah, I think it's
You were pacing yourself.
yeah.
Yes,
It's
good.
going down.
West side.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second panel in the 2021 Wanda Diamond League Doha press conference. We're very excited to have another panel of amazing athletes today. Just to quickly give you some of their credentials, on the far end of the table, away from me, is Sandi Moris, who's 2016 World Indoor Silver Medalist, 2017 and 2019 World Championship Silver Medalist, and 2016 Olympic Silver. She also was the 2018 World Indoor Champion in the women's pole vault. Next to her is Timothy Cheruiyot, 2017 World Championship Silver Medalist over 1,500 meters and the defending 2019 World Champion over 1,500 meters. And then next to me is Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. This will take a minute. 2016 Olympic bronze medalist at 100 meters. 2012 Olympic silver medalist at 200 meters, the 2009, 2013, 2015, and 2019 world champion at 100 meters, and she also doubled that 100, 200 in 2013 as champion. Twice the Olympic champion over 100 meters in 2008 and 2012. She's the fourth fastest performer of all time in the women's 100 at 10:70. Was that long enough? So just to get things going, just so the athletes know what we're doing here, I have a number of questions for you. We're also going to be receiving some questions virtually from media members. So welcome media who are here inside the bubble and those media who are contributing members outside. We'll have some questions coming in. But to start with, Shelly-Ann, you've been at the top of this game for a very long time now. How has your perspective and or experience in the sport changed over time?
It has definitely changed. It's on.
Just lean into it.
Okay. So my perspective has definitely changed. When I just started, I was 21, unsure of what I really wanted to do, and just going with the flow and enjoying what I was doing. You know, now being 34, I'm intentional about what I want to do and my goals, and one of those intent is definitely to run below 10:70. That has been a passion of mine, so I'm definitely committed towards that, and hopefully I can put some solid races together this season and get that done.
And how has motherhood changed or enhanced what you're doing and the experience and the expectations you have for yourself?
I think motherhood has definitely enhanced, everything about who I am. And it definitely requires a lot more sacrifice and commitment, which at the end of the day, it's almost as if, I put things in perspective. My son is my priority. Track and field is also a priority. And trying to combine both is such a huge responsibility, but something that I take with pride. And it makes my work easy, I think, because I'm a lot more, I would say, mellow in terms of, going to practice and enjoying practice and looking forward to going home. And then I have this little person who I'm trying to motivate as well to understand that, he's not limited by where he's from or his height or who he is, but there's so much more he can accomplish, and I hope that I will leave a legacy for him to look back and understand that his mother was able to do what she did, defining her moment, notwithstanding where she grew up or what persons, thought or expected of her.
That's amazing. Timothy, you are the defending world champion from right here in Doha. What does it mean to be back here competing in 2021?
To be back here is very important to me. I'm happy to be back again. Despite I was here in 2020, I was running 800 meters, so I'm happy to be back again.
And on that note, as the defending world champion, there are clearly other phenomenal 1,500-meter runners globally. How do you expect the 2021 season to shape up, and are you ready to take the top spot as a gold medalist in Tokyo?
1,500 meters is very competitive worldwide. I have my compatriot all over the world. So I need to work hard to focus on Olympic 2020 because now I'm in good form. Yeah.
Do you think we will see you in both the 800 and the 1,500 in Tokyo?
Not really. I'm focusing on 1,500 meters only.
So Sandi, over 2020, you had to find some unique ways of training. A lot of facilities were not available, and you sort of famously, with your dad, built a world-class runway in your backyard. Have you changed your methods? Are you sticking to the backyard training philosophy now that things are starting to open up?
I am very fortunate to have a family who is extremely supportive, and as he said, my dad helped me. Well, I helped my dad build a pole vault pit in their backyard in South Carolina, and I went and lived with my parents for basically all of last summer to be able to train when everything really hit last year. But fortunately now I do have access to my normal facilities in Arkansas, but that pit in my parents' yard still serves as a place we're going to hold at least one meet on it this coming season. We're busy choosing a date on that one. But it's also served the community in my parents' neighborhood. My dad, first of all, he coaches at Clemson University, and so his vaulters can come and work with him in the backyard, and that's a lot of fun to jump on Sandy Morris's pit, so that's really cool. And then he coaches some young kids in the neighborhood. So I think that pit will serve for not just for me as a place to go train with the family, but for the pole vault community and growing the sport in general for years to come. So I'm so grateful for my dad.
And on that note, 2020 seemed like an opportunity for a lot of athletes to rest, to get rid of some lingering injuries and whatnot. How has that affected you, and what has come out of that for you now that we're in full swing of competition in 2021?
Yeah, I think last year affected a lot of athletes in a lot of different ways. For me personally, it did allow me to have more time to rest and be at home and train with my coach, get more technical work, because you're not so worried about having to be ready to jump high, because when you're working on technique, sometimes you have to go down before you go back up. So I feel like I made a lot of good technical changes over the last year, which really is going to set me up for this year. And I think I speak for a lot of athletes in that sense. And I know that all of us, I think there was a lot of self-reflection that happened over the last year, not getting to travel, not having meet opportunities. And I think now we as a whole will appreciate every meet even more. And it really has been a moment of self-reflection for me, where I'm like, I'm going to go out there and treat every meet as if it's the last competition of my life, because you never know when that might be the case. So I'm excited to be here and to get this season kicked off.
So you have competed a couple of times thus far outdoors. You've cleared 480.
Yes.
How does that track along with your expectations for this year en route to the Olympic trials in the United States as well as the Olympics?
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how I've kicked off my season. The biggest battle for me has been getting used to this longer series of polls, and this has been a topic of conversation for probably I started experimenting with them 3 seasons ago, so I feel like that's all sorted out now, and I'm consistently jumping 70 and 80 on a daily basis at meets that I go to, and I'm just antsy to get back up there in the 90s and higher. So that's kind of where my sights are set for this competition. But as for the year as a whole, I feel confident. I feel like as long as I can stay consistent, the path forward will be similar to what it's been in the past.
We're excited to see. So Timothy, after winning the World Championship in 2019, your Olympic dreams in 2020 had to be put on hold, just like everybody else's. How did you manage that time frame, and where are you mentally now in preparation for 2021 Tokyo?
After finishing World Championship year in 2019, I was proud, and I was focusing on Olympic 2020. So the COVID-19 came up, and it affected every athlete and everyone in Kenya. So we go back to the home area, and then we stayed there. There was no training for around 4 months. And then we came back at March, and then we started focusing again for 2021. So COVID-19 affected so much because I was well prepared for 2020. Yeah.
I think it seems like that for a lot of athletes. So on that note as well, Shelly-Ann, when you're thinking about now your own delay and having to wait till 2021 for another Olympic Games, what do you hope to get out of the Olympics? Is another medal going to satisfy your desires, and are we going to see you then competing for another spot in the 2024 Games?
No. 2024, no, I don't think so. But for me, having been on the podium so many times, if I'm honest, I'm really looking forward to being on the podium, which is good for me. But I think this time around, I'm really looking forward to running below 10.7. That is definitely, as I said, a big dream and something that I'm working, hard towards. So, to have both would definitely be a blessing. But if you ask me, which one I rank higher, I would definitely say I want to run 10.6 or even faster. So for me, that's definitely what I want, but to have the combination will definitely be good. So I'm working towards the combination as well.
So just speaking on time, in the previous press conference, I was speaking to Rai Benjamin, 400-meter hurdler, and he was referencing in 2019, he was chasing times, and he felt like that ultimately ended up being, he felt like it was a detriment to his season versus chasing competition. How do you kind of navigate those waters between wanting to win races, knowing that the times will come, also with your goal of running sub 1070?
I think with competition, the harder the competitions are, the better I am at performing. I like a challenge. I like when the competition is hot, because at the end of the day, I think that's what the Diamond League is about as well, because when you are at a Diamond League, the field is going to be good and it's going to be solid. When you're in a race and you're the sole competitor that, is doing well, the pressure is not there as if, you have competitors that are doing exceptionally well, just like you. So for me, I think the bigger the field is, the bigger I perform, because I love the opportunity to rise, and I think those are the opportunities that I get when I compete in a field that's that.
That's a wonderful answer. So speaking of the just competition, this is a question down to Sandi now. The 3 medalists from Doha are back tomorrow. What are your expectations for how you will drive each other to new heights?
I'm excited because this is the first time we're all seeing each other again in person, and it just so happens to be back here in Doha where we last met. And I have no doubt that we're going to bring out the best in one another. Like you just said, the competition is really what drives the performances, and there's nothing like stepping out there next to your fiercest competitors, and you can never be afraid to compete. And so in the next, I guess, tomorrow night, 24 hours, a little bit more than that, I think that fire will come back out on the runway, and I don't want to put any numbers out there, but I think there's a lot of people who are ready to jump high because we've been rested at home training, working on things, and I don't know. I'm excited to see as well.
You know, I've spoken to a lot of athletes, and I've seen a lot of other interviews where so many athletes have said that coming out of 2020, they are physically stronger. Like they've been able to put in the work that oftentimes gets put to the side a little bit when you're consistently competing and you don't get to get as much work done during the week, especially come the summertime. How does that resonate with you? Is that something that you've experienced, and how have your gym sessions been going?
Yeah, I would say the biggest difference for me is the weightlifting, especially being able to stay consistent, and I feel stronger than I've ever been before. Like my weight room numbers are up, and I know that's because I've been at home hitting cycles consistently, and because traveling really does kind of throw you off in that sense, and then not having to change your diet frequently when you're on the road, and trying to eat healthy and just stay in a rhythm. So I think we will see the results of that in all of the events across the board, just athletes who are stronger, healthier, not injured, and ready to compete more than ever.
And not to get ahead of ourselves here, but when reading through your credentials, there's a lot of silvers. How much? And that is not a diminishing comment. That is an amazing accomplishment. But I know as an athlete, your pursuit is for perfection, and it is for championships. How is that pursuit affecting 2021 in your pursuit for an Olympic championship?
Yeah. So, the only gold I have under my belt is 2018 World Indoor. And I think back to that competition, and that day, I was just trying to jump as high as I physically could. And I think you were saying it can be detrimental to athletes to really focus on a number so much, and I'm kind of doing that, not focusing so much on oh my gosh, I want the gold. Of course I do. If I just go out there and focus on jumping as high as Sandi Moris can and pole vaulting as well as Sandi Moris can, if I execute that, winning gold is very likely. And so that's where my sight is set, and just focus on the pole vaulting, focus on execution.
And I'd love to get Timothy's perspective on this as well. When you think about the competition out there, Jakob Ingebrigtsen and some others that could really pose a challenge to you in 2021, is your focus on time in 2021, or is it solely on that Olympic gold?
I know 1500 is very competitive. There is young athletes like Jacob and his brother. My focus this year is about to win a medal in Olympic. First is to make the Kenya team in Kenya, because we're having trials, and trials in Kenya is very competitive. So I need to make a team, and then I focus on a medal in an Olympic.
Shelly-Ann, are we going to see a 100, 200 attempt at the Olympics this year, or just sticking to one event?
Listen, the 100, 200 of it is hard. It's very hard. It's a lot of mental toughness, and, coming back, I remember in 2013 when I did it, I did it in 2012, and I got the gold and the silver, and then I did it in 2013, and, I got the both golds, and it was hard. If I attempt it this year, it's still on the table. 2019, I wanted to do the double. I felt I was in shape to do the double, but my coach at the time decided against it, and when I saw that 2020 happen, I was like, oh, I should have, seized the opportunity when you had it. So for me, yeah, I definitely think it's on the cards to do, so we'll just see how the season progresses. And My national, championship is at the end of June, and if you know my national championship, it's always very tough. So I'm looking forward to, making the team and, getting the double, hopefully.
We look forward to watching that. So this is also another question for you. I asked this of some of the previous panelists, and we're oftentimes so focused on athletic achievements and results. What is something about you that you wish people knew more about, or something that you pursue as a passion or a hobby that is something different than athletics?
Okay, something different from athletics. I'm passionate about community, because when I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of role models. I didn't have a lot of persons that I deemed as, okay, they made it from my circumstances, they were able to elevate themselves. So I'm passionate about going into my community and providing hope and inspiration to the young girls and young boys in my community. Because when persons look like you and they do things, great, then you're able to look on and say, I can do it as well. So for me, that's a big, big passion. I spend a lot of time in my community, doing one-on-ones, being at my center. So those things are very important to sustaining legacies that we build in our community and in our country. So for me, that's one thing I am passionate about. And everybody knows I'm passionate about my hair. I love changing my hair. I get bored easy with my hair. Today it's bald. Tomorrow I have on a wig. Then I had some braids. So yeah, I get bored easily with my hair.
Thank you. And it's a question for Timothy. Along those same lines, you still have a lot of racing ahead of you in your career. What is your hope for your legacy in Kenyan athletics and globally? What is your hope that people remember you for in this sport?
My hope in my career is to run up to marathon, and my passion is to nurture young athletes in my community, so that people in home can remember me. And I hope again I will open clubs so that young athletes can train there. Yeah.
That's such an interesting perspective that a lot of athletes have. And Sandi, you noted this as well about even, the runway in your parents' backyard, using that as a platform for, instilling hope and providing opportunities for other people, whether they're collegiate athletes or younger. Sandi, you've been very prolific in the sport of pole vaulting for what seems like a long time now, but it's such a short window of opportunity for athletes in reality.
Yeah.
When you look at your career thus far, how do you evaluate it? What do you feel about it? And what do you have yet to accomplish that you're really aspiring to now?
So time goes so fast. I think back, 2015, I graduated college and signed with Nike right out of college, and then it just doesn't feel like it's been that many years of my career, but now I'm a veteran, and I'll be 29 years old this summer, and I look back on the last few years and I think how fast they went, and then that makes me realize how fast this next chunk of my career is going to go. And you never know how long your career is going to be. My goal is to make it to at least 2 more Olympics, and the body kind of determines if that's possible over the years. And I am very proud of what I've accomplished. I haven't won that outdoor gold in Worlds or Olympics like I really, really, really want. And so I think that's the obvious answer is I want that gold medal. And then I believe I physically have the ability to break the world record. I have believed this about myself. Honestly, I think the realization came in 2016 for me, that I have the speed and the physicality to do it, and I just have to fix my technique. And that's a lot easier said than done because I've been trying to do it for 6 years. But I believe I can. And now, the window is getting smaller and smaller, and I want to take advantage of that. So it's kind of lit a fire under me. I have a fire in my heart that probably burns harder than it has in my entire career because I realize I don't know how many years I got left, so I'm going to really go after this. So I'm excited, and I'm also excited for a lot of my competitors, specifically Katie Najat. She's an American also who will be here, and she's been jumping so well. And I know that her and I are going to continue to push each other over the years to come, and I'm excited.
Pole vault seems to be a very, collegial type of environment that you guys, when competing, men and women both are cheering for each other, because, at moments when you bow out of a competition at a certain height, you're going to still cheer on the next person. Why do you think it's like that specifically in pole vault?
It's a tough question to answer. It's just this culture that kind of comes with our event, and I think it continues to move in that direction over the years that have gone by. There's there is a pole vault community. And so I think all of us have kind of come to this non-verbal agreement that we want to be an inspiration to the sport just as much as we want to succeed as individuals. And so it can be a fine balance between you're competing against these people, it's a tough competition, but you also do support one another. And I think that part of it is because in the pole vault, you have a lot of elements against you, including gravity, so you might as well just help each other out. And we need to help each other out on the circuit a lot when it comes to pole transportation and things like that. You need your competitors. If your poles get stuck in an airport, you got to be willing to go help each other out. You need each other, so that's part of it too.
Love it. Great answer. So finally, from me anyway, there might be some more questions from out here, but what would a performance tomorrow be like that would leave you happy and satisfied about your experience in Doha?
Doha has been very good to me. I've always enjoyed jumping here. It's always warm, which is a huge factor in performances. Of course I want to go out and win. Of course I want to go jump high. And so that's what I'm going to focus on is jumping high. I feel like I'm really, really ready to put some big jumps together. And just soak up the moment. We're back out here, the Diamond League's rolling, we're back to competing, and I'm not stuck in the backyard anymore. So I'm just going to appreciate every trip down the runway.
Excellent. And Timothy, same question for you. What would a performance be like tomorrow that would leave you happy or satisfied?
The performance of tomorrow, I need to run under 3:30. I will be happy.
Okay. And Shelly-Ann?
Yeah, Doha has definitely been the place for me, so I'm looking forward to dipping below 11. So, for me, I'm excited about that. And it's hot, so it's good.
I'm glad it's all of you up here rather than a bunch of 10,000-meter runners. I don't think they'd have the same perspective on the heat. Oh, he doesn't like the heat. Okay. Are there any other questions from the media? Yes, sir.
Sandi, you had silver in Rio, silver in London, and silver again in Doha. The silver you had in your exciting career, which one did you feel bad about the most? That you left the whole thing and you felt that gold should have been mine.
Which one did I feel what?
Bad about the most. That you felt, that gold should have been mine.
Oh,
of all the silver you've had, which one did you left the whole thing feeling as if that gold should have been mine? If I pushed harder, that gold should have been mine.
I would say the one that I did not feel satisfied with, is that what you're asking, out of all of my silvers? Yeah, definitely London 2017. 17 was a difficult year for me. I felt like I was kind of at a stagnant place. I wasn't improving. And I felt fortunate to get silver with what I jumped at the World Championships. And I think back to that year, and it really does bring a lot of perspective to think, wow, I was disappointed with a silver medal. And that is perspective to know that, I feel blessed to be in that position. So I would say 17 was a tough year, and that's why I turned around in 2018 and was more motivated than ever and did so well that year at the World Indoor Championships. Unfortunately, it was an indoor and not an outdoor. So hoping to make up for that this year.
Timothy, last year you decided to run 800 meters in Doha, and that outing didn't turn out well, as you would have expected. This year you are back in your familiar turf, the 1500. What should we expect from you tomorrow?
I came last year here to run 800 meters. I was in good form by then, but unfortunately the last training that I do in Kenya, I bowled an hamstring, and I didn't run well in 800 meters. So now I'm back to 1500 meters, and I hope to run well. This is my first race of the year, so I hope to run well. Yeah.
Shelly, welcome back to Doha. You'll be competing against two competitors tomorrow who have so far run below 11 this year. I'm talking about Olivia and Blessing Okagbari. Do you see them as a major threat tomorrow?
If I see them as major threats, to be honest, I wouldn't say I view a specific athlete as a threat. I've always said that whenever it is that you line up to compete in 100 meter, you have to be ready for anybody. I don't spend my time focusing on any individual athlete. I know that at the end of the day, an athlete is not standing at the line to shower me with flowers or escort me to the line, They're there to compete, and they're there to compete aggressively. So for me, I'm not paying attention to an individual athlete. I'm paying attention to my lane, and I'm paying attention to making sure that when I get in the blocks, I'm ahead of everybody else. So for me, at the end of the day, I know that every single female athlete that steps to the line, they're ready.
Great. And with that, I'd like to thank the media for being here today and for online, and especially thank the athletes, Shelly-Ann, Fraser-Pryce, Timothy Cheruiyot, and Sandi Moris. We wish you the best of luck tomorrow in the 2021 Wanda Diamond League here in Doha. Thank you.